Been over a fortnight since Leeds United were last in action, and an awful lot's happened elsewhere in that time. As a consequence of results elsewhere, Leeds still need to put points on the board. Tonight they've made the tricky trip to the south of London to Selhurst Park to take on Crystal Palace, a side just above them in the Premier League table. Something from this game would really help ensure that Leeds are back for another season of Premier League football come next August. Team news has one change for Leeds United, with Calvin Phillips coming in for the injured Adam Forshaw. Wholesale changes made by Patrick Vieira after a couple of defeats, 5 in all to his starting 11. Suddenly the ball is at the other end, it's flicked goalwards and it's cleared off the goal line by Llorente, who carried on past Meslier there. The ball dropped short of Meslier, was clipped beyond him, and it was going in, but very, very slowly, and the fact that it wasn't travelling at pace allowed Llorente to get in and hook it just away from goal before it crossed the line. Palace start again from the back. Ward down this near side, skips past Rafinha, and then Ward plays a little ball into the path of Zaha. Zaha runs away from Calvin Phillips, gives it back to Ward for the cross to the far side. Meslier underneath it, and does well, gets both hands on the ball. Eze through the midfield, he had a bit of space and time to work in there, and now Palace have got it out on the right-hand side with a runner down that right to put the cross into the penalty area, where the heads go up from just in front of goal. And it's Zaha who made contact with the ball. He didn't get any power in his header. We've got a head of Luke Ayling, but Meslier was able to just pluck it out of the air, and it was a fairly comfortable catch for the keeper. Leeds do well to win it back in the Palace half. Now Harrison plays it, tries to play it forward for Rafinha. It's behind Rafinha. Then there's a mistake made at the back by Gueye, and then Crystal Palace get it forward, and Gallagher whips a lovely ball over the top, and Ayew is up to the edge of the penalty area, plays the ball across the box, and there's a brilliant defensive challenge coming in at the far post there, just to keep the Palace man right in front of goal, away from making contact with the ball, and that's a goal-saving intervention.
Well, I'm not sure how much Llorente gets on the ball, but what a fantastic pass that is from Conor Gallagher over the top. Dallas has beaten all ends up by Ayew, and Ayew puts a delicious ball in for Mateta at the far post. And I think you're right, he might have actually just got the tiniest of touches, and that's all it needed.
Big noise coming from the travelling supporters, who remind everybody that Leeds are the champions of Europe. Harrison forward for Leeds United, down the edge of the penalty area he goes now, towards the byline, trying to just wriggle his way through a crowd of Palace players. Nice. He almost manages it. What he does do is win Leeds United a first corner kick of the game.
Nice and positive, didn't have too many options. A lot of Crystal Palace players around Jack Harrison, but he kept trying to take it forward, tries to then knock it through the legs of Klein as well, but through his endeavour, we get a corner kick.
Dallas leaves it for Harrison, and he curls the ball out towards his side, and Cooper meets it with a header in front of goal, but he was just stooping a little as he tried to make contact with the ball, couldn't get the power he wanted in it. It went down into the turf and bounced up into the hands of the goalkeeper.
Well, clearly they've been spending some of their time on the training ground with set pieces, because that was excellent, really good ball in, and Cooper won the ball. Anderson just did enough to put Coops off, couldn't get enough power in the header, but really was a good effort by Liam Cooper.
Rafinha launches a throw into the near post, Cleek with a little nod on, and it's teed up on the edge of the box for Dallas, and the shot is blocked by Ayew, who collapses to the ground. And well, that was clearly something Leeds had worked on, and goodness me, it nearly came off.
It nearly worked. That was wonderful. It was an excellent throw from Rafinha, and Cleek just gets a touch. Coops was in behind, he couldn't actually go towards goal, but just laid it off behind him, and the shot, unfortunately, from Stuart Dallas couldn't get it through, 3 or 4 players.
Infield it goes to Zaha, skips away from Luke Ayling, plays the ball back to Ward to his left. Ward rolls it back into the path of Eze, lovely little flick from Eze back to Ward, and then Phillips brings down Zaha, and that will be a Crystal Palace free kick. home supporters getting a little animated. I think probably feeling that Zaha has been targeted here, maybe.
Well, this time it was Calvin Phillips who just tries to get in front. And Zaha just puts his leg in the way as well. Yes, it was a foul, but nothing more than that.
Leeds are conceding a worrying number of free kicks in the sort of area that Eze relishes. Again, has the opportunity to launch one into the penalty box. Signal goes towards the penalty spot. Heads go up, and the ball is held under the crossbar by Meslier. And that was a warning, if Leeds needed one, that the more of those set pieces that are given away, at some point you would fear that Palace will find a way of making Leeds pay the price. Rodrigo to Stuart Dallas, opens up for Dallas to play it out wide to Rafinha. Rafinha takes it down, he's into the penalty area. Rafinha, one defender Ward in front of him, holds the ball up, shoots goalwards, and it breaks almost to this near side. Took a deflection on its way, nearly landed in front of Jack Harrison, went behind instead for a corner.
Wonderful play, really was. Stuart Dallas does really well to get a 1-2 and then plays a delicious ball out to Rafinha on the right-hand side. One-on-one against Ward, cuts inside, then tries to give the goalkeeper the eyes and hits it near post.
Leeds haven't got a wide man beyond Dallas, so they've got to go through the middle to Rodrigo. Gives it back to Dallas, he's just outside the area. He'll try the shot, and it's wide. And Guaita didn't make much of an effort at diving at that one. Space for Eze, moves into the Leeds half. Leeds have got to get back behind the ball here. Eze carries it all forward to Zaha, who's run away from Llorente. Gets the ball in towards the penalty spot where Mateta was waiting, but so was Cooper. And Liam Cooper volleys the ball into touch. Palace have it with Eze in the Leeds half. Down the touchline it goes, Zaha again. Great work down that far side, low ball into Mateta. Mateta, well, he got that completely wrong. He skied it high over the crossbar. But wonderful work by Zaha to get the ball into him there.
Well, that was really good play, wasn't it, from Zaha on the left-hand side. The ball in wasn't bad either. Difficult for Mateta, but that ended up in row AA, because that's past row Z. It was that far back, fortunately for us, but we can't keep giving away those sort of opportunities.
Now Elise will get his first touch, and he's up to the edge of the penalty area, and he gets the cross in, and it's over the head of Meslier, and it goes to the far side of the box to Zaha. Zaha looking to get goalwards, clips the shot in, and Meslier in a good position, dropped to his left-hand side and caught the shot on goal.
Well, I saw Elise there coming on, excellent play, gets down the right-hand side. It's a decent cross as well, but Mateta went near post rather than far. When Zaha does pick it up, tries to find that bottom corner, but Meslier had his angles spot on.
Zaha is challenged unsuccessfully by Llorente. Foul given against Llorente. Free kick for Crystal Palace. 10 players inside that penalty area for Leeds. Only Greenwood on the edge of the box as the one-man wall. The referee gives the signal for the free kick to be taken. Movement in the penalty area. Eze curls it in, headed away by Rafinha. Comes out for Conor Gallagher to volley goalwards, but to volley wide.
Oh, that was always rising and was just a little too high. The header was a good one from Rafinha, and the ball didn't quite come down for Conor Gallagher, but that actually was certainly on target, but a yard too high.
Koch actually does really well and gets the ball out wide to Rafinha. This is where Rafinha wants it. Runs, his ball is misplaced. Leeds get it back, always off balance, but they still have it just outside the penalty area. Ayling does well, turns wide to Gelhardt, just outside the penalty area. Gelhardt will shoot, and that ball will skip up into the hands of Guaita there. Over the halfway line to Elise. Dallas holds him up, goes back into his own half to Anderson. Anderson just launches it forward. Is this going to bounce onto the head of Llorente, but his header goes straight for Schlupp. Schlupp out wide to Zaha in the penalty area. Meslier saves with his legs, and again with his legs. Double save from Meslier. Zaha put the first effort in low and hard, the second effort in low and hard, and Meslier responded to both.
Well, when Schlupp picked the ball up, he passed it out to Zaha on the left-hand side, and the angle was always tight. Good shot from Zaha, but Meslier brilliantly saved with his legs.
Lovely layoff from Zaha to Benteke, tight to the touchline. Benteke looks into the middle, over the head of Stuart Dallas to Elise. Elise in the penalty area, still Elise in the penalty area, tees it up for Gallagher, straight into the hands of Meslier.
That was a chance. That was a chance. And normally Conor Gallagher from, 15 yards out. I think he just slots them home for fun. Elise, brilliant. Great control. Goes one way and the other, and eventually plays an excellent ball to Gallagher. Fortunately, Meslier once again comes to our rescue.
Benteke against Llorente, and then Koch comes in to help out. Harrison, though, is beaten by Klein. Klein plays the ball for Conor Gallagher just outside the box with Calvin Phillips. Really good challenge by Phillips. And Phillips plays it for Rafinha, wrestled to the ground. No foul given there either. So Palace come with Schlupp just outside the penalty area. Zaha, far side of the box, plays it in, takes a deflection, and Meslier was rooted. He didn't know where it was going to go. It looped up over him, and it dropped just beyond the post. Leeds so close now. Meslier rolls it forward to Llorente. The whistle goes to the mouth of the referee. Well, Leeds United have battled incredibly hard here, and at the end of an evening when for so long they were under so much pressure, they've managed to add a very important point to the total. Leeds United move another step closer to survival in this Premier League season. Goodness me, they've had to work hard for it though. And defensively, that has been an outstanding performance. Didn't do a great deal going forward, but managed to absorb all that Palace threw at them at the other end. And Leeds United will go away from Selhurst Park with a valuable point. Final score here, it's finished. Crystal Palace 0, Leeds United 0.
What a beautiful point. What an ugly game. It really was. And you know what? I don't care how you play. It's the spirit that the lads show, because, listen, when things aren't going well, when things are going wrong, you still got to stick at it, and that's exactly what the boys did. They stuck at it for 90 minutes, but they just couldn't get their passing game going whatsoever. They had to hang on at times, and Palace, well, with the flying wingers as well, showing plenty of confidence, we really were up against it, but we stuck to our task, and that was, in the end, a really valuable point, as you say, Bryn. Points closer to safety. That's what it's all about. Clean sheet, another point. On we go.
Yeah, 2 successive clean sheets for Leeds United in a season when they've been very, very hard to achieve indeed. So the dogged determination of this Leeds United group grinds out, we don't say that very often with Leeds, but grinds out a point here at Selhurst Park, and the players go to acknowledge the wonderful support from those fans on the far side of the ground. It's a long, tricky old trip into deepest South London to get to Selhurst Park, and it's going to be an even longer and trickier trip home, I suspect. But those Leeds fans will be buoyed and bolstered by the fact that the side has come here, a ground that has traditionally been not a great place for Leeds United, but the side has come here and will go home with another point in the bag, another point closer to where we want to be. The full-time scoreline here at Selhurst Park, it's finished. Crystal Palace 0, Leeds United 0.